This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Cabo Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors, to episode number 187 of the Good Neighbor Podcast, Estero. Today we have good neighbor Jessica Darr from 116 Lawn Care. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, pleasure to get to know people in the community and what they do and share that with our listeners. So let's jump right in, and why don't you share a little bit about what you do over at 116 Lawn Care?
Okay. So we are a lawn care and landscaping company where we have a lawn care and landscape maintenance division, and then we have our landscape design and install division. Our slogan is that we love to create a backdrop for your memories through property transformations, and that's what we strive to do every day.
Very nice. So how did you get involved in the lawn care industry?
So my husband and I started this company back in 2015 up in Illinois. And he always wanted to be an entrepreneur and do something for himself and not have to work for other people. And I was a good wife, and I jumped on board and joined him in that endeavor. Had 3 little kids with us at the time. They sat in the back of the truck with us while we went and grew that business. And then we came down here in 2017 and fell in love with the area, visiting family. And we're like, someday we're going to have a location in Florida. And we worked our butts off, grew our company up there so we could start our second location down here in 2022.
Very nice. And I'm sure you love it down here, right?
I love it. Way better. No cold. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. So talking about challenges, it's a little bit different up north as far as the business is concerned. It's not year round, but starting a business can always be very challenging. There's always challenges, obstacles that we kind of go through. Is there something that maybe helped define who you are today by looking back and say, I went through that, but now I'm in a better place because of it?
For me, I would say just business ownership in general. It wasn't really something I planned to do, but I actually really found my calling. I love to build teams. I love to work with my staff. I love to pour into them. I love getting to talk to the customers. I kind of became the face of the company. My husband would do the work, and I kind of got thrust into the office and doing the sales and the marketing. And I love it. I just never thought I would, but it definitely has its ups and downs through growth over the years, but I've learned a lot through all of it.
Absolutely. It's strange how sometimes we find our passions on paths that we never thought we'd be on.
Yes.
So are there any maybe myths or misconceptions surrounding the industry or what you guys do that maybe we could clear up for our listeners?
I'd say probably the biggest thing that I noticed was when we came down here, it's like a big misconception that all lawn care maintenance companies are kind of the same. Like it's when you're looking at bids and you're talking to companies, you're kind of comparing apples to apples. And I noticed people down here are just used to not being treated well. Their companies will not communicate. They don't show up on time. They have no idea where they are. They don't know what services they're getting. And compared to up north, that was very different for us to kind of realize. And so we just sought out from the beginning to just prove that we are different and not all companies are created equal.
Absolutely. I'm from the Midwest myself, and Wisconsin and Illinois, and I'll agree that the work ethic sometimes down here isn't what it is, or up in the Midwest anyways, for sure. Mm-hmm. So do you notice anything trending in the industry lately?
I do feel like the industry as a whole is definitely getting more instead of all paper, like back in the day, it was all paper and pencil. And I think what's nice is the industry is starting to follow along with the trend of using, we use a CRM and we have apps and we have, brought it into the 21st century. And that really helps us have better communication, with our customers and with the team and all that kind of stuff. But I know a lot of companies, just from like having different employees and stuff, that they're still all pencil, paper, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like as the industry as a whole starts embracing the 21st century, it's actually good for us. It's better in general.
Absolutely. And anytime you can communicate with customers, potential clients, it always helps to ease that process a little bit.
Yes.
So you mentioned you were from Illinois and you moved down here just because of the warmer weather, right? and you love it down here, but I know owning a business can be very demanding. So what do you do when you get a minute of free time? What do you enjoy doing?
So we are very family oriented. We have 7 kids. So on our free time, we are hanging out as a family. We love to be outside. So for Florida, that looks like going to the beach, walking a lot, going paddleboarding, kayaking, anything that's outdoor related, you'll find us doing it. We have a little small farm, so we'll work outside, so being together.
Being able to be outdoors year round. That's why we love it down here.
Love it.
Absolutely. So is there one thing you wish our listeners knew about 116 Lawn Care that maybe they're not aware of?
So 116 actually comes from Romans 116. We are unashamed of our faith. And that's very kind of woven throughout our whole company, from our core values to how we treat our team members to how we interact with our customers. So I'd say our faith is very integral to who we are.
And that's important, especially nowadays, to have that behind you. So if our listeners were interested in contact you to learn more information or, have their lawn cared for, how would they go about reaching you?
So they can find us on Facebook at 116 Lawn Care Bonita Springs. Is the name there. And I try to update that regularly with all sorts of stuff that we're doing. And then our website, 116lawncare.com, you can go on there and request services and just kind of check out and learn a little bit more about us.
And just to explain those services, what types of services do you provide?
So in the maintenance side, we have the mowing side where, we have multiple packages based on we kind of let the customer kind of tailor their packages based on how often they want to cut throughout the year. Because, down here, it's not fully year round, and then we have landscape and bed maintenance as well. So that's our maintenance division that we can kind of perform those services on a regular basis. And then with the landscaping side, we do everything from, we'll fully design your landscaping, do a huge, massive clean out. We can do sod, mulch. We do 3D designs. So we can, do all of that as well.
Cover it all from front yard to backyard and everything in between. Perfect. Yep. So any last words for our listeners?
Not that I can think of.
No? Well, very good. Well, Jessica, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for being such a good neighbor, and I hope to see you out in the community soon.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com or call 239-296-2621.